starting from the camp of the National Democratic Congress, and the leadership of the party is urging its supporters to defend themselves should they be attacked by the persons believed to be sympathizers of the New Patriotic Party. Addressing a press conference in Accra on Thursday, the national chairman of the party, Kofi Potofie, said members, apart from reporting the cases to the police, will first have to defend themselves when attacked.
The NPP have been officially declared winners of the elections. And yet, we are recording very worrying cases of violence by their supporters and activists across the entire country. Shameful attacks on the contractors and workers at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, popularly known as Ghana Dubai, has brought work to a standstill there. The pity of it all is the destruction of the colorful lights from the water fountain that flows to the admiration of all. Our people have reported several cases to the police and the security agencies, and I commended them for working on it. I commend our party leaders, right from the branches to the constituencies, region, and nationally. You have no idea the energies we are spending on keeping our people within law and order. I am the leader of the party. I am saying if they attack them, they should defend themselves while seeking police protection.
Still on the NDC, its national chairman, that is Mr. Kofi Potofie, is alleging that workers of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, are the latest targets of the NPP in a series of attacks across the country. Mr. Potofie indicated that NADMO staff, including its coordinator, that is Brigadier General Vipson Ziri, are being harassed.
In the warehouses and stores of NADMO in Tamale by hoodlums of the NPP, raiding the head office of NADMO in Accra, chasing out the acting national coordinator, Brigadier Zanziri, and staff of NADMO at their offices, and subjecting the Brigadier General to searches by hoodlums and marauders of the NPP. We are recording very worrying cases of violence by their supporters and activists across the entire country. But I am the leader of the party. I am saying if they attack them, they should defend themselves while seeking police protection. They should not cross their hands for NPP people to butcher them to death. My friend, should they do that? Defend yourself. When you survive, report to the police.
All right, so let's stay on this particular topic and go to the Ashanti region, because recent acts of post-election violence have caught the attention of the National Peace Council. Our Ashanti regional correspondent has met up with the chairman of the Peace Council, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, and they've joined us live from the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi. So, Evans, what's happening?
Touted the just ended elections as one of the peaceful polls in the Fourth Republic. Nevertheless, there have been some reported cases of violence, and we are speaking with the chairman of the National Peace Council, Professor Emmanuel Asante. But let me also put it on record that the MPP has condemned the post-elections violence, and the NDC has also reacted the same. Prof, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Would you say that the MPP has shown much commitment in calling their supporters to order?
As far as I'm concerned, once a whole general secretary, acting general secretary, has made a statement condemning any acts of violence and has called on party supporters to comport themselves, and has also asked the police to crack the whip on such people. And it's not only the acting general secretary who has done that. Nanado himself has indicated his displeasure with the whole thing. And not only that, you have some of the party leadership, Bugiri Nabu, for instance, is on record to have warned supporters of the New Patriotic Party to be very careful about, engaging in such acts. quite a number of them have spoken against the whole thing. It's been condemned. The Peace Council has condemned that act. It's there on record. And a lot of people, President Mahama himself, has spoken against that, urging the NPP to do something about it. They have done something about that. So for me, I do believe that the parties have shown concern about what is really going on, that they do not endorse, and therefore it cannot be a party's policy to engage in acts of this nature.
Now, only yesterday, the national chairman of the losing party, I'm talking about the National Democratic Party, Mr. Portofie, called his supporters to defend themselves if they should be they should encounter such sporadic attacks. Was that call appropriate?
I consider what came out of the chairman of the NDC to be very, very, very unfortunate. It is unfortunate in the sense that as a party that has been in government and believes in the rule of law, he must know that in calling for people to defend themselves, you're calling for anarchy. It is also an expression of lack of confidence in the law enforcement agency, the police. Because if we believe that the police are up to it, and that they have what it takes to deal with such criminal acts, which I consider what is happening to be a criminal act. You know, the mere fact that we dress it with political paraphernalia doesn't make it political. Somebody is breaking the law, and the law must deal with that person. But if we say that, oh, we think that the police are doing the best that they can, but they don't have what it takes to do so, so we will also help. Let's take the laws into our own hands and prosecute. Ensure our own, ensure that, justice is done. Then we are asking for anarchy. That call is uncalled for. I think what should have come is that we realize that these things are going on, and we call on the law enforcement agency to do what they need to do. Otherwise, we will take the legitimate steps to address the issue. And what will be the legitimate steps? We have the courts, we have the services, we have what we need to do. But if I say I'm going to, arm myself and anybody who comes, I'm going to fight him, we are moving into the law of the jungle, the state of nature, where everything is going to be brutish, nasty. And I don't think we need to do that. We have come this far, and we must try as much as possible to ensure that our democratic credentials and the fact that we are committed to law and order is not disturbed. In saying this, I'm also saying to those people who are using the name of parties to do, things that they shouldn't do. Supporters, whether they are supporters of the MPP or whether they are supporters of the NDC or whatever, should understand that they are breaking the rules of the land, and therefore it's criminal to be doing the kinds of things that they are doing. After all, we have had peaceful election. We have had, a whole president of a nation conceding. The president-elect has magnanimously accepted and even praised the president for rendering services to the nation. We've been able to put in place the transitional team. They are working hard to ensure smooth transition. Why is it that people in the districts and in different places want to take the laws into their hands to prosecute their own transition and grabbing this from here and there simply because other people did it to us? Two wrongs doesn't make one right. And for me, this is a criminal act that the police must crack on. The police must take action on such people. I'm happy to learn also that the police are already acting. Yesterday, Cephas Arthur, the superintendent Cephas Arthur, was on air. And he did say that already they have arrested about 8 people, and they are they are on the heels of other people. I think it is important for people to understand that this has nothing to do with partisan politics. It is an act against the state an act against law and order, is a criminal act, and they are doing it with criminal intent, and therefore they must be, they must be addressed. For me, simply condemning is not enough. We will condemn such acts, but we must also say that people who engage in such acts, whether it is perpetrated or whether somebody takes the laws into their own hands to prosecute their own justice, is an act that should not be entertained. We are not living in a jungle.
All right. Now, finally, just 3 days ago, the newly elected president of the National House of Chiefs visited the Asantehene, and one thing that he said that shook the environment, I'm talking about Menchia Palace, was that he is going to ensure that there's total harmony between the Asantes and then the Eves. What do you make of that call?
You know, the whole idea that Ashantis and Eves are at loggerheads is something that politicians perpetrated that for their own political and parochial interest. We have lived in this country for years. I think I have lived in Ghana for over 60 years now. You go to my hometown, there are Eves who are living there. We have lived with them. They are like brothers. There are marriages even amongst us. Eves are scattered all over the place. And there are Ashantis who are also in the Volta region. I know some Ashantis who can even speak Ewe very fluently. Volta region is made up of Akans and of Eves and of different people. We have allowed our, politicking to divide us. And I think Tugwafede hit the nail on its right point. As far as I'm concerned, we are not enemies. We should we should use tradition to say that we are all Ghanaians. We may belong to different ethnic groups, and in our diversity, we must express the unity that we have, and that unity is the fact that we're all Ghanaians. And this is not something that should even happen just simply between Ashantis and Eves. It is something that must involve all of us. Ghanaians must see themselves as Ghanaians. And as Ghanaians, we exist in diverse ethnicity, but we are one.
We have been speaking to the chairman of the National Peace Council, Professor Emmanuel Asante. My name is William Evans Nkume. Go back to studios and join Martin for more on